I'm Michael Real, and this is RealUrbanNews.com. We're on the road. We're in beautiful Solvang, California, where we speak exclusively with Iris Rideau of the Rideau Vineyard, the first and only African-American woman to own a vineyard here on the West Coast. Then we go over to the Olive House for an exclusive wine tasting. And then we enjoy all these vintage and antique cars right here in Solvang, California, on the road with RealUrbanNews.com. Iris Rideau, thank you for being with RealUrbanNews.com.
Well, thank you, Michael. A pleasure and wonderful meeting you.
Talk about this fabulous winery.
Well, let's see. I started this from scratch to begin with. It was an abandoned piece of property, and I bought it at the bottom of the market, and it allowed me to restore the old house. The house was built in 1884. It's a Santa Barbara County historical landmark. So when I realized what I had, I thought, you know, why not just get in here, fix it up, because I had to pass by here to go to my home. And it's sat in dust and dirt and weeds. There was nothing here but the old house. So as I got into the renovation of it, I realized that I just loved it. It started looking like my grandfather's house in New Orleans. So I said, okay, I'm going to make this look like a little French family home that I grew up in. And so I did, and then I really got hooked.
This is a long way from New Orleans.
A long way. Well, my family moved here when I was 12. And I won't tell you how long ago that was.
A few years ago.
But I spent my adult years in Los Angeles. And in 1967, it was my first year in business for myself. I started an insurance agency, which was my background.
Briefly, just give us a little brief history.
Yes.
On the winery, how can people find out about it? Where can we go to learn more about it? And obviously, you want people to come here and partake of these beautiful grounds.
Well, okay. So fast forwarding, what happened? As I mentioned, finished the restoration of this property. As I was doing that, I decided I was researching the ordinances, and the only thing that I could do with the old house was to sell wine out of it, because this is now considered an agricultural area. So I thought, okay, then I'll go into the wine business. And that's how it started. And I'm thinking, I'm still have my city mind on. I'm thinking, okay, I'll just buy some bulk wine, bottle it, and be like a liquor store. And then I planted the vineyard.
Wow.
In '98. When I planted the vineyard is when I really got serious about making premium wine. And that's all we do here. We make premium wine. I started at 300 cases. I'm now up to 9,500 cases. And everything is sold right here. I don't wholesale at all. I used to when I first started the business, but realized that it didn't pencil out at all. So everything is sold here between the visitors that come and my cellar club. And I have a great location, as you can see. I mean, I'm on a main highway, and we get over 2,000 people visiting a month. So I didn't need to wholesale. So now I'm selling everything strictly retail, full retail, with discounts for our members and for the public as well. And so I don't wholesale.
Talk about some of the challenges, if you will, being an African-American woman from a great background. Talk about some of the challenges on this road to victory.
Well, you know, I'm the only African-American woman in the industry, period, in the statement. That's pretty amazing in itself, because this has always been exclusive to wealthy white males. And that's just a fact, because it's not only is it labor intensive, but it's capital intensive. It takes a lot of money to start a winery and to run one. It took me 8 years before I could take a dime out of this business. I was putting $300,000 and $400,000 a year into it for 8 years. As the years went on, the amount of money needed to capitalize it went down, thank God. And finally, when I got to the bottom, almost the bottom, I was making money. And that was after the 8th year.
What kind of encouragement do you give to other entrepreneurs, especially in this challenging economy, where it almost seems like you almost have to be in business for yourself? What what kind of words of wisdom do you depart and share with others?
The first thing I'm going to say is that I don't recommend going into a business, a startup business, unless you know the business, unless you know the industry. If you've worked in it and you have experience in it and you have some business background, then I would say yes. But you have to make sure that you have a budget that's going to sustain yourself. You know, the most critical thing for small business is capital.
Iris, we know you're extremely busy, and we want to thank you for your time, sharing your wisdom, and most of all, your talent and your ability to give and care with RealUrbanNews.com.
Thank you, Michael. It was my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Come back again.
Oh, I will.
And have some wine.
Okay.
With me.
Okay. Thank you. After sharing with Iris Rideau, we traveled to downtown Solvang for more wine tasting at the Olive House.
So, what, you guys like sweet wines? Sweet wines. Yeah. Okay. I want some.
Never knew how much I love you. Never knew how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight, fever in the morning, fever all through the night.
Sun lights up the daytime, moon lights up the night.
How was the trip?
Fabulous.
Amazing.
Very enjoyable.
An afternoon of wine tasting, fellowship, and vintage cars. What a wonderful way to close out the summer.
Captain Smith and Pocahontas
For RealUrbanNews.com,
had a very bad affair.
I'm Michael Real.
But when her daddy tried to kill him, she said, Daddy, Daddy, don't you dare. He gives me fever.